Okay, so I thought I was going to do an update on repairing my turntable, or actually completing the video, but I've hit a couple little snags. It's moving forward. All I have to do is get a good 3D print. So I thought in the meantime I would do something else, which is an unboxing video, which I myself am not that much of a fan of, but I think this will be kind of fun, and we get to play with some trains. So recently I purchased something on eBay, like the idiot I am. And in this case, it is a Hornby Railways R355 industrial tank locomotive. And I'll be honest with you, this box is in amazing good shape. And oh wait, this is oh my god, it's got the price tag on it. This is purchased at Harrods, probably 1977, for the astounding price of £2.90. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't see that before. I've been to Harrods. You'll even see a couple things I bought there. Okay. No, not Harrods. I went to Hambley's, the toy store. Alright, so let's open this up. Come on, open up. There we go. Oh. So, oh, look at that. Good news, it's got its instruction sheet. Okay. I remember getting these in my other Hornby cars, or Trent locomotives. It's pretty cool, and it's nice to have that, especially since if you need to do some maintenance on it. Anyways, put that aside. So here it is. It's in blue. I'll take that guy out. There we go. And it's got that bubble wrap on there. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. I didn't see it. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I didn't notice that before. Now, this isn't actually from this locomotive. It's a name tag. We're going to put that... Oh, there. Come back to that in a second. So this is an 040 tank locomotive. It's a freelance design, but it's actually inspired by the London and Southwestern Railways C14 and S14 classes of 040 tank locomotives. These are built in circa 1910, and they're very diminutive. And but you can see in the photographs how this really does sort of echo the shape. Although this model would be bigger in real life than the C14. It's a very nice representation, but it does really capture that Edwardian charm of these locomotives, and I think charming is what you would call this design. And the blue for this model is Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway blue. Oh my gosh. Or it could be considered Caledonian blue. Now, for those who don't know, in the age of steam, British railway companies, on their passenger locomotives at least, and sometimes on their freight, they would have these brightly colored liveries as part of corporate identity. Although on a 040, it wouldn't be painted that way, probably black. But for a private company, they'd probably want to paint something brightly colored, again, for corporate identity. This model is actually the last of its line. This is was available from 1977 to 1978. And its roots go back to, well, it depends on how you look at it. 1961 is when they first produced something like this. But in fact, the chassis, I think, goes back to 1959. This actually was originally used in the Tri-ang steeple cab electric locomotive, which is available in green and red. And you can actually take electricity off the pantograph if you decide to put in the overhead wires. But this came out, actually, the first tank or steam version of this came out in 1961 as the industrial tank Nellie in blue. And in fact, if we go back to our friend here, and I'm going to put that aside, that name tag is from a Nellie. So they must have had, this is an eBay, so they had a bunch of stuff. So go back to this. So Nellie came out in 1961 in blue, and that was so successful that in 1962 they brought out Polly, which is a red version, and Connie, which was a yellow version. And these ran out throughout the 60s. I think the last version of Nellie was 1971 or 72. They also produced a rather attractive green version, just an industrial tank, number 27, in 1971. Oh, but also I should point out that this is also available in a black industrial tank, which is kind of North American looking. It was sold in Canada and elsewhere too, but had a different body, but it was the same chassis. And they also produced a diesel 040 earlier on. Again, same chassis, different body. So it was very flexible and very successful for them. Now, in 1973, they came up with the penultimate version of this locomotive, and I'm going to put this guy aside. And that was the Hornby R455 040 industrial tank locomotive, which is this one here. And this is mine from when I was a kid. And the best part is, hold on, that cost $22.50 back. I think I bought this with my own money. Might have been a gift though. I can't remember. I do remember seeing this in the hobby store on the shelf, going, "Oh, I want that." I like small locomotives. So $20.50 would be about $100, maybe more today. Such is the nature of our economy. So there it is. It's a rather nice, attractive, bright red version. Come on out. There you go. And the unique feature of this one is its silver dome. Yeah, some great. It's got scuff, which again adds a bit more character to the model. But not that the model didn't have plenty of character to begin with, but does differentiate it from its predecessors, and it gives an even more sort of archaic, more of a late Victorian look to it as well. Now, the thing about this one, it has this rather long number, the 25550. And this was available from which is a clue, and also was available in 1973 and 1974. So it's actually could be a commemorative edition, because the same year Hornby came out with the Lord Westwood locomotive, which is available from 1973 and 74, and it was based on the Great Western Hall model they produced, and it was the same color with the same white lining and with a very similar number on the side, which is 25555. I think that's the number. And it turns out, or supposedly legend has it, that was a phone number to the factory. Anyways, so let's take a quick look. I'm not going to take these apart because I just don't want to deal with it. But you can see here, this is actually in really great shape. In fact, I want to say about the box again, which is somewhere around here. That it's in such great shape, and the person who listed it said that it was probably a store model that didn't get sold or something like that. And opening this up, it did smell like it was brand new. Whereas if you smell mine, it just smells old. It smells like it's kind of musty and old, like it was in a basement or a locker somewhere. Okay, so let's take a look at these guys. One thing I noticed about this, it's been cleaned in great shape, but it seems a little bit greasy looking at the wheels. And the other thing too, if I flip it up, we'll see the difference in a minor difference in mechanism. So again, another clue that there's something a little bit different with this is that it has a very dirty gear here compared to mine, which I use quite a bit. Oh, for Pete's sake. All right, back to where I started. There's a phone call. Okay, so, and my phone's right beside the camera. So you can see here, this has very dirty gear compared to mine, which is clean. And the thing is, mine has been used quite a bit. Now, I will admit, this has not been oiled in any sense since I used it when I was a kid. And that could be a long time ago. I think it's over 30 years. Okay, well, this might have seen the light of day a little later than that. Anyways, the other thing too is, if you look, maybe not be able to notice this is actually a little bit shinier, the wheels, than mine. I think, well, this seems to have less wear. There's wear on the wheels, but there's less wear than mine. But that's still pretty good. Anyways, so as I said, this is the penultimate version of this. I'll put this here. And this is the ultimate version of this. And they actually made, I think, according to the website I was looking at, 140,000 of these models over their lifespan from what, 61 to 77. So that's 16 years. So that's actually pretty good. And they probably just made them in batches. So this is all made in 1973, and this is all made in 1977. So this was actually replaced. So this is at the end, and they came up with a new chassis, or a new model, to be the basis of their 040s, and it was this. The Great Western 040 tank number 101, and this is R077. It's different chassis. It's pretty much all plastic. The chassis itself, I think, was produced in 76 for a model. I think it was what they called another international version. which came in black, and then came in a black and red livery, which made it look like Austrian Railways. But you can see here, I think it's a pretty nice model. But if you see here, it's got this really crummy toy-like linkage. It's just, there's no detail. It's just putting this here to give you an idea of a crank, whatever this is called. I can't remember what this is called. But anyways, this is the slide. Who knows? But that's all right. The body is much more detailed, and it does have this nice feature of the bunker being a separate piece, very much circa 1901 when this prototype was designed. And it has a different, less glossy or non-glossy finish, which I think makes it look a little better. Again, it has sort of late 70s quality here, but that's all right. The other thing too is you get more detail on the because again the chassis is plastic. You get a sandpipe. You can actually get a hole that's been cut through the frame, very prototype-like, and a brake here and a brake pad here, and so that's kind of cool. The other thing too is that the couplers are molded in, which is kind of I don't know. And I know the Hornby couplers aren't prototypical, but they're actually really quite good. But I think these are always the best ones. I just felt this was a bit fragile, and at least they had. That's still metal. Or is that plastic? That's metal. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's underneath it for one last bit. Is that this 7374 has the pickup here, this little silver wire. And that's kind of typical of that era. And I'm very glad I took care of this model because usually they get kind of mangled. And in fact, my original locomotive, which was from a CN set, the switcher, it's the CN switcher, and this kind of got banged up a bit and it's kind of bent on that, but bent back into shape because it's a wire. But if you look at these collectible ones, or if you collect these things or get into the stuff from this era and it has this wire, it's always bent or mangled in some manner. And this one, they've changed the pickups. So there's actually a copper, I don't want to say plate, but a strip of copper, and it's sticking out the side and it just touches the wheels, which is probably a better system. And then this guy, and I don't even want to go there, it has a very fine wire which is buried somewhere in the chassis. I was going to try and, that's why I'm not taking it apart, is that when you take this one apart, you have to pry the bunker off. Then that comes off and you pop something up here and that comes off, and then these fall out and it just seems really fragile. And you can barely see the pickups. It's really buried in there. And I'll say this. As lovely as having a more detailed model, even this one is more detailed than these. I really like the fact that this just took one screw to take these apart. That's probably a better one there. Anyways, so that is 3 Hornby tank locomotives. So since we've got them out, I'm going to get out a loop track, and we'll see if these run. I know this one runs. I tested it, and I know this one runs. I tested it. This one runs better than that one because of the weight. And this one, well, they say it works, and it looks like it should work, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so we'll see you on the track. Okay, go. I thought it would be fun to run the trains while we're at the cottage. But it didn't go as planned. It turned out the track was in really bad shape. So when I got home, I gave the track a good cleaning. I know this isn't right, but I started by sanding it with 600 grit sandpaper. And I followed that with 2000 grit sandpaper. And then I wiped it clean with mineral spirits. And finally, I straightened out some of the wonky rail joiners. So finally, I'm ready to run some trains. I'm starting with the red loco, and it's pulling a Consett Iron Company hopper. Even though this wagon is from the 1980s, the design goes back to the 60s, and it kind of shows in how the axles work. It is one of my favorite wagons, and I always wanted to pick up more. This loco has a disturbing tendency to rock, especially going into curves. I never used to do this, but I suspect it could be the track, especially the curves, which are accentuating the problem. And there was only one minor derailment, and it was self-correcting.
So on to the blue loco. It's pulling a four-wheeled carriage in Caledonian Railway livery. This car actually moves really smoothly. It has to do with the silver seal wheels that Hornby introduced in the 1970s. The secret is the low-friction pinpoint bearings in the axles. Now for the Great Western number 101. The green locomotive seems to benefit most from the track cleaning. I think it's because it's the lightest of the three locomotives, and so it doesn't make as good as contact with the track when it's dirty. It's pulling the Severn Tunnel shunting wagon and a Tri-ang Shell oil tanker wagon. This wagon is the oldest one I have in my collection, and it dates to the mid-60s. And so that's about it, and no major derailments. Okay, we'll do that again. Go. And there you have it, 3 Hornby tank locomotives. And thanks for watching, and please subscribe. I'm still producing videos, it just takes me longer than I want to, but there's more stuff coming, I promise.